Hi, welcome back. Or if you're just joining, my name is Maya, and welcome to my channel, Cranleyplace, where I'm focused on Hermès scarf style, knot tutorials, and more. Today's video is about one of the scarves I mentioned earlier this year in my video series on Hermès' Spring Summer 2023 collection, a 90cm double-faced silk twill scarf called the Jardin des Peintres by Annie Faivre. I'll give some background on the inspiration behind the scarf, show you the colorway I ended up getting, and share my thoughts on styling it. Let's get started. This design is by one of my favorite Hermès artists, Annie Faivre, who has been working with the house for decades. I believe she first started working with Hermès in the late 1970s and since then has designed literally dozens of scarves. If you're familiar with her work, you'll know that she usually incorporates a monkey somewhere in her designs, which reportedly stems from being called Little Monkey while growing up. Her debut scarf with Hermès, I believe, was called Circus, issued in the early 1980s, representing the circus spectacle scene with majestic animals and acrobats in action. Since then, some of her many designs include Armée et Panache, Sur un tapis volant, Art des Steppes, Ballet Russe, Au Pays d'Épices, and many more. Amongst Hermès fans, she is truly well loved for her distinct style, and probably one of my favorite pastimes is studying her designs just to find the signature monkey. And in some cases, honestly, I've had some of these scarves for years and still haven't found the monkey. This design is inspired by landscapes around a village in the south of France that was effectively the birthplace of the early 20th century avant-garde art movement that would later become known as Fauvism. Characterized by bold colors, textured brushwork, and non-naturalistic depictions, in its early years, Fauvism was predominantly affiliated with French artists such as Henri Matisse, André Derain, Georges Braque, and more. Fauvism was inspired by post-impressionist artists such as Vincent van Gogh, Paul Cézanne, and Paul Gauguin. And in fact, like Impressionism, Fauvists also painted directly from nature. The key difference between these two styles was all about intention. Whereas Impressionism was concerned with capturing the fleeting moment, the Fauves focused largely on strong, expressive reactions to their subject matter. The thick paint application, bold hues, and expressive nature of post-impressionism were exemplified and emphasized in Fauvist paintings. The name Les Fauves, or the wild animals, was coined by influential art critic Louis Vauxelles when he saw the work of Matisse and Derain in an exhibition at the Salon d'Automne in Paris in 1905. Fauvism became known for bold, vibrant, almost acidic colors used in unusual juxtaposition and an intuitive, highly gestural application of paint. The Fauvist artists were experimenting with the ways in which color could be liberated from the subject matter. They intentionally painted recognizable imagery, but with surprising chromatic dissonance. So, for example, the sky could be red, or a woman's face green, allowing for color to convey meaning in its own right, outside of its connection with the object depicted. Often seen as a seminal and transitional movement in the development of modernist art, Fauvism lasted from around 1904 until 1910 and paved the way for other highly influential styles of the 20th century. Fauvists' unbridled use of rich color for expressive ends marked an enormous shift towards abstraction and art for its own sake. Orphism, abstract expressionism, and many other key modernist movements developed out of the Fauvist period's liberation of color and experimentation. Derain went on to develop a neoclassical style, while the once Fauvist artist Georges Braque worked alongside Pablo Picasso to develop Cubism. Before we get into the colorway I chose, let's peek at the other ones available so far. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that Annie Faivre is one of my all-time favorite Hermès artists. And what I like about this scarf comes down to a few things. The first, of course, is the artist. I'm a huge fan of her aesthetic and have several of her designs already in my collection. Second, I love the Fauvist inspiration behind the scarf and how she's really captured that spirited boldness, especially in the flip side of the scarf. And third, it's a double face, which offers tremendous bang for the buck. If you haven't seen my video on best Hermès scarf sizes and formats for the money, you'll see a link in the upper corner here. The colorway at the top of my wish list is called Vanille, Vert Amande, and Corail, which translates to vanilla, almond green, and coral. Vanilla, of course, is a subtle creamy white. Almond green, a soft pastel green with subtle grayish undertones inspired by the delicate hues of fresh almond shells. And coral, of course, is a pink-orange color that gets its name from the marine invertebrates living at the bottom of the ocean. Looking first at the more muted side with a vanilla base, we can see a variety of soft hues such as yellows, greens, blues, pinks, oranges, reds, purples, grays, black, and white. That, plus it has this vivid golden contrast hem, which gives a hint of the bolder color treatment on the other side. Now, looking at the other side, this one has a yellow base and many of the same colors we saw before, but of course, some much bolder in the Fauvist style. In addition to the almond green and coral, we can see a range of yellows and variety of other greens, soft blues, pinks, oranges, browns, and grays. With this being a double face, there is no wrong side, which means that this will absolutely go with anything in my wardrobe. So there you have it. Some background and my thoughts on this double-face scarf from the Spring Summer 2023 scarf collection by Hermès. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and let me know what you think in the comments. In future episodes, I'll share other scarf reviews, tutorials, and more. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time.